Media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately, those outlets expose their own partial bias and attempt to control the media more than anything. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Because of you, we're in this mess. Forever you will acquiesce. How you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe. Dead of sight, dead of mind. News believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Busting through your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Licks the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, that know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer. Inject your poison where your mask. All they have to do is ask. Never questioning authority. Blindly following like sheep. Yes sir, no sir, free backs full. You television watching fool. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, that know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In their world forever locked. Into their world forever boxed. Reality you leave behind. A prisoner of your own mind. Forever you will be deceived. Never, ever to be free. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, that know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, that know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It is Ted once again. And today I am joined by none other than ZULUONE.
Hello.
What's up, Zulu? And today we are going to be talking about some basic driving tips in case of the apocalypse. Currently, granted, we are, I guess you quote unquote say we are in the apocalypse, or we are in the unveiling of hidden truths and things of that sort. And things are just getting kind of effed up. So everyone's kind of working on their prepping and everything like that, and maybe getting their gardens going, and maybe buying into crypto or anything trying to help their securities in the future for anything that potentially may or may not happen.
Right.
Yeah. So because there are, I wrote down some, potential scenarios, and one I won't get into because, we have freedom of speech and I can't talk about this topic and all that it curtails.
Yeah. Right.
We in a free country, duh. But the first potential, well, I guess we can start with this one since it happens somewhat short, I guess, here. And that would have been like, the potential of the gas shortage bullshit that we endured, and we saw the idiocracy unfold before our very eyes with the idiots just hurtling to the gas stations and hoarding gas in any and all potential containers, and you're just
my favorite guy was the one who put it in a tarp in his pickup truck bed. What the hell, man? He just drove out of the parking lot, sloshing everywhere. Freaking lunatics.
Yeah, I know. You're just an accident away from having the world's largest fireworks display. Way to go.
Yeah. I got gas. Poof, fireball.
Yeah, and there it goes.
Ridiculous. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just ridiculous.
I know, because
and not for nothing, but that gas shortage was allegedly due to a internet issue with servers, which, okay, I get that, but don't these pumps still have manual features? I mean, isn't there someone there to hit the fucking switch? So I don't understand why you're telling us that the system was down. And then, of course, you get the fear, just like the toilet paper. Everybody bugs out. There's only so many days worth of food in your supermarket. If everybody rushes there today, it's going to be empty.
Yeah, no, they don't. In various stores, they don't get grocery loads like every day. I mean, some do, depending on the business outcome and everything. But your slow, typical rural store would be like maybe every other day, every 2 days. It depends. So I'm like. And then you really have to kind of question the people, like, you guys barely have enough, to get you through the weekend or something? In a worst case scenario, if something happened on, say, a Friday.
Right.
Like,
and
shit.
And that's silly, because I've always thought about, and I'm sure you have thought of this because we talked about it, is that regardless of the apocalypse or anything, everyone should have a preparation plan for several weeks of sustainability, because any natural disaster, nobody's fucking coming for you, dude. Nobody's coming for you. You got to protect you and your family. You should always have a contingency plan, whether it's going to be shelter in place or get the hell out of there. You have to have a plan, regardless of apocalypse. It could be a snowstorm, a hurricane, a tornado.
I mean, for example, what was it? For me, this would have been, I believe in 2008, I had a condo area back in Washington, but during this time, Washington got unloaded with like a foot of Western Washington got unloaded with a foot of snow within a couple of days, and at best we get maybe half an inch, and it melts off by noon or so. So people were unprepared. DOT was underprepared. People are panicking. I didn't have any problems. I had like a 2-week vacation from work. I was a garbage man at the time, and the grocery store for me was a quick, simple drive away. And like, it was a straight shot. I mean, I couldn't mess it up bad, and they took care of it there. But I do feel bad for other people in other areas, because I had a friend of mine at the time, him and his girlfriend, they had to drive out to my place, because on top of this winter and shit, there was a power outage. So you're snowed in, you have no, and then you're running out of power and things like that. Simply everyone just falls apart. You watch the whole.
And that's interesting. You said that about the power, because I noticed a couple years back when we had and I think I told you this. There was I think it was Sandy hurricane, and the power was out here in it's the major city for this area, was out for 2 days. People were losing their shit. The state had already put tractor trailers full of ice and water to give out to everyone. And there was more. I saw it. I witnessed it. There was more than enough for everyone. And they were still fighting online for the ship. It was ludicrous. That's 2 days. Now what about, now add 3 weeks and you haven't fed your child.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's like there will be no transitional period. It's like people will go from being the nice, happy, friendly, neighborly people that you typically think about, and then to go right to a Mad Max scenario. They'll probably be in leather and chains and painted up vehicles with guns, knives, hunting anything down for their child or their family at this time. Like, people are freaking nuts. So that's why, us in here in the truth community, we got to make sure that we're on top of our game, because we know for damn certain that most of them, if not any, are really on board at all of this shit. And what's going to happen. We're going to be defending our asses left and right.
Right. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought in December of 19 that, this is bullshit. It'll be a couple weeks, not fucking almost 500 days later.
I know. Went from 2 weeks to 15 months to.
Yeah, ludicrous. I'm still, it's, what does Waters say? It's not surprising. It's still shocking, but it's not surprising. It's like, what the hell? Insane.
Yeah, it is insane, because what was it? Earlier today, me and Karen went out for dinner, went to the sushi place, and she was talking about, how, I don't I want to live to see the end of this. I want to see this through. I want to, I told her too, damn, same here. I'm like, I am not dying. I'm not going to die and still allow this while this shit is still going on and everyone's getting all crazy as it gets incrementally worse every freaking day, it seems.
Pardon me.
Oh, good. It's that thing that's flying around. It's probably that the flying V variant or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, either way, it's science.
Science, always science. Science has got everything on our back here. What other interesting? Oh yeah. Another potential I was thinking also would have been EMP attack. May or may not. It doesn't have to be like, it's the full grid shutdown. Everything goes to hell, because, they can't propagate their message if we don't have television or mobile devices or computers
right.
or whatnot.
Right. Well, I hate to say it, but I've always felt that it's been gonna turn the lights off, let the cockroaches kill themselves, turn the lights back on, and then sort through what's left. Because we'll take care of ourselves. We'll thin our own herd. We'll thin ourselves. People will lose their shit.
Yeah.
But sorry.
I was gonna say, the elite, they don't kill people per se. They get people, they psychologically make people do this for themselves, or they have others under them to do it for them as well. They don't care. They'll leave with a guilt-free conscience. But they'll just be like, all right, the plebs will just beat the shit out of each other, kill each other, whatever they need to do. And once the bodies are all cleared and whatever thing we can unveil beforehand, if we don't have an antichrist situation or whatever the hell goes on, they can have their perfect one world, new world order that they've been so desperately trying to seek. And they're like, we finally got it this time. Everything's good. But I don't know. These people are psychopaths.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely bizarre that it's. Especially. And again, just like you just said, it's not that I feel like we're above or beyond or special, but we're seeing it. We fucking see it, and it's ridiculous that I can't comprehend other people don't see it. How do you know? How are you not seeing that fucking politician is lying to you? That the logic behind these things are so misconstrued. I have to wear a diaper to protect you. Wait a minute. What? I don't get it. And then they have the balls, the nerve to tell you to do it, but you're now 3 times more likely to get sick.
I know. They have so much conjecture with everything they say. They got everyone in such a daze of confusion. They don't even know what to think. They're just like, I'm just gonna scrub my asshole 5 times a day, hand sanitizer here, there, and everywhere on the cat, wherever it goes, masking this and that, masking their car, whatever else.
Yeah, I hate the failed logic. To me, it seems like the ball logic where they work backwards. Well, no, this is what it is. So it is this thing, and this stick is necessary. So it has to work this way because that's what it is. They work backwards. It's like, no. You're just, I don't even know. I'm sure there's a word or term for that, but it's frustrating because that's not how you figure things out. You assess the information, then you come to the conclusion. You don't work backwards from the conclusion and determine how it happened like that.
Now they're doing their funky reverse engineering.
Yeah, and filling in the blanks. It's ridiculous, and it's defensive the way people are. They're like, no, I can't be stupid. No, I'm not stupid. I'm going to take this because I'm not stupid. I listen to them. I'm not stupid. No, you're being stupid because you're not asking a question. You're not stupid, but you're being stupid. You should be asking questions. How could you ever, and I get it, if you don't have a child, you may not even have this feeling, but how could you ever say, yeah, go ahead, stick it in and let's see what the fuck happens? What is wrong with people?
I wish I knew. But speaking of what was wrong with people, Eric DeLeon, I saw this bit here, like on Facebook or Telegram, one of the two, but talk about the whole what's going on in France. If anyone hasn't heard, their president, Macron, or whatever, he's talking about like that you're gonna have to be getting the old Vaxo there if you want to shop.
Have you seen any media or any information out of there regarding it? I have not. I've only been seeing information regarding Cuba, and what I've heard so far was that basically people went to the banks and everything's gone. The government shut everything down, shut all the money down, took everything, it's all digital anyway. Yeah. But just shut it down, and they're like, "What the fuck?" It's not even that you just took the money, but now how do I buy food? How do I feed the kids? How do I do this? Everything is shut down, so they're losing it. Oh, yeah. I didn't even know France was losing their shit. I just heard today, and what I had heard that it was speculation that they had just said it's mandatory. Everyone's got to get stuck.
It's crazy fine world, I know. And then on top of that,
yeah, sorry.
Oh, all good. Let's say on top of that, then we come back over here to the States and North America for essentially, it's like, how many people actually really know how to grow their own food or take care of situations like this? That if you don't have access to grocery stores, people are gonna get kind of antsy and crazy. It's why it's very vitally important. You should go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, get some any gardening kind of stuff you can, get some seeds while you can, stockpile it,
I will say this, it is quite amazing. I did not realize that it is so simple to actually do certain things. Like you could grow potatoes in a bucket. I fucked it up. I'd have to try it a couple times to get it right, but it can be done. And you don't need a lot of space to do, and it's portable. You can move it out to the sun, move it back, whatever. So you can do these things. And I also, sorry, this squirrel, but just amazing that Karen and Jack had talked about when they were discussing the word city, and that I believe it represented darkness and like bad. And the city is not where you want to be. I've never liked that. I never liked all those people there. I never liked the idea that if shit goes south, there's 1,000 people that wants that same 1 gallon of milk that's in the corner store that I want to give to my kid.
I worked at the grocery store I worked at last, whatever, a Kroger grocery store over in Western Washington. The day this shit was starting to get crazy, it just, shelves were wiped. You could see what people's what their priorities are, toilet paper, paper towels, stupid little essentials. Milk was, I worked in the dairy, so we were constantly we were always out of milk because of this. What are you people doing with this milk? Shoving it up your ass for storage? I don't know what the hell. Where are you putting this? But whatever. This is,
I don't know. I know during the blizzard, I always go out for bread and milk. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, those
Why?
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 They're crazy people like that. Oh my goodness.
Ted, I love you, man.
Love you too, Zulu.
I'm glad you're my friend.
Hey, that's good. You know, I'm glad. It's like that's another great thing about everybody in the community here. It's like everybody has their own awesome, cool little skill sets, and we can always like, if worst scenario ever happened and we needed to find a common living situation for a good few thousand or so of us, you know,
Well,
that'd be nice to have.
Absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah,
that you're right. I mean, it's interesting. That's one of the things I loved about before the world shit the bed, that meeting everybody and all the different information and perspectives, and I love it. I love it. I mean, there's so many intelligent people, and just the thoughts, and I mean, sometimes even just getting a different angle at something, for me anyway, gives me new enlightenment or new knowledge or new understanding of it, you know, like, I didn't think of that way, and that may, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love all of you guys.
I know we can always bounce ideas off each other. That makes it always wonderful. But that last bit, it kind of segues into this next potential issue here. If there was like such a famine, like say they do some massive geoengineering program, whatever, in all the Midwest, so that Bill Gates can buy out the rest of the farmland or whatever. So the poor mom and pop shops are forced to succumb to this nonsense and the Bill Gates of hell and all that crap. So yeah, there could be even worse with like little food or more scarcity if you're even trying to find anything, and that's going to be a real big kick in the pants there for everyone.
I think that is definitely going to be a huge eye opener for a lot of people, because even just now, and I know you've said it before, Aaron said it, a lot of people, we've discussed the ramifications of how this is, it's going to impact everyone, that it's not going to be instant. It's going to slowly ramp up. And I mean, you can already see shortages of things that it's ludicrous. Why is it hard to get lawnmowers? What the fuck is that? Right. Oh, because you didn't let anyone work for 8 months. Why can't you get cedar fencing? Oh, because the guys that are the 4 fucking dudes in the middle of the woods 100 miles from anyone weren't allowed to chop down trees. It's so stupid.
Or they had all the lumber, but I remember seeing videos of other truckers driving around like by these huge lumber yards and whatnot. It's like the lumber's all there, all wrapped up, ready to rock, but they don't want it. They want to create that artificial scarcity to get everyone.
Yes, they weren't letting the mills run. Larry told me he spoke to a guy in Canada, a company that they buy cedar fencing from, and he said that the government would not let them run their mill, that they had all the wood right there. He's like, we could have made everything the whole time. All our guys are sitting around, and they wouldn't let us cut it, do it. And why? Why is that? To artificially cause the issue. And then for you anyone, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're ridiculous if you're sitting at home thinking, well, the administration and Biden and Trump's coming back to. It is ludicrous to think that any of that is real. It is all set up to do stuff like this, create shortages, and then that's going to ripple effect, and like I was real pissed that like here in New York, they allowed everyone to go on unemployment and they added money to it because, they wanted to help people out. So people that were making $150, $200 a week now are making $1,000 a week. The last thing they're going to fucking ever do is look for a job or work.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
They want everyone in that nice system of controlled by the government. Everyone's got their government universal pay or whatever, so they can do about
all
the
things. Small businesses in the area. All the guys that I know that own small businesses have been telling me for freaking months. They're like, we can't get anyone to work. Can't get anybody. One guy, he's driving his own tow trucks at night because he can't even get people. It's like, it's ridiculous. They rather stay home and get a free check, which is by design. I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what people don't understand is that all this extra money financial incentives that they're bringing forth, like every so few months, whatever, here's your new Biden bucks or your Trump dollars, whatever the hell they want to make it. But, this ties into the whole hyperinflation of our own fiat currency, which is continuously getting worse. Like, yay! So my work, it's like I got like a $2 an hour raise. Cool. What do I have to do now? I have to endure with like an extra 70 cents extra per gallon for gas because of this shit. Food's
Isn't it
constantly watching food prices. It's ridiculous.
It's despicable, dude.
Yeah.
My boss, I work for. Well, fuck it, I'll say it now. I don't work for them. I work for State Farm, those douches.
Mhm.
And I forgot the 1 year, the raise, it worked out to, it was like 70 cents an hour or some shit or so. And I just was like, really? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's great. Everybody. And then I'm like, you're an idiot. And he's like, what do you mean? And I didn't give a shit. My boss, when I started, he was not my boss. He was my counterpart. Then he became my boss. I didn't care. He still has to wipe his ass when he shits, whatever. I treated him just like a guy. And I said, you're an idiot. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, do you really think for pennies, you're getting pennies. This $1 billion company is giving you pennies. You think it's a good thing, and you think that you should work even harder and strive even harder, and you should go home at night and think about your job while you're sleeping and while you're at the dinner table, and you're out of your fucking minds. Yeah. Out of your minds, all of you. And for a long time, I had that. I mean, from day one, I didn't like the whole thing. I actually walked in and I was like, whoa, this is like a cult.
Yeah, it is
like a creepy cult. The corporations are terrible. 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 Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. I know we're going on tangent.
Oh, it's all good. No, we're just, rattling off like, some of these, potential scenarios. Like, I mean, like I said, there's like the one scenario I can't talk about because, freedom of speech and YouTube censorship and medical misinformation, whatever else they have in store.
Right. Well, we're not doctors and we're not providing medical advice.
Yeah. It's entertainment and comedy.
I am a New York State licensed DMT, and I can speak to the things that I know. So there's that.
It's like I'm not a doctor, but I play one on YouTube.
And I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express once.
Cool. I drove.
It was a bad experience.
Yeah. I was gonna try and say I've driven through Shelby once or twice. Of course, there's the famous car that we're all hoping. I mean, just. The other day, like just getting so enraged from seeing like all the chemtrailing that they constantly do. I just keep looking into the sky. I'm like, just unleash this and just let it happen. You pray for like the fake alien invasion. We have you have Reagan pandering about that in a UN speech. If we could all unite under one. If we had an outside attack from a alien race or some BS. Yeah, of course they'd all want that. It would make perfect sense because it's humanity versus the aliens. We got to have a global government so we can all work together. Everything about unity, work together, inclusive. They'll use all those nuances and everything to get everyone all hyped up and ready to rock for this. But we all know what's going to lead to. That's like Agenda 2030 fast tracked, I guess, if they really, really, really wanted it. But who knows what's going to happen? That's what I don't want because shit, man, they have enough weaponry. They have enough other crap going on that they could just unleash for the shits and giggles of it. People would believe it. They always do.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. It's absurd.
It really is.
Absurd. I mean, like, seriously, zero questions, just blind.
Yeah, they don't even care. It's like, I got to work. I got to get my day-to-day life going on here. Everything's happy-dappy.
I heard someone yesterday say, and I liked the people that were talking, and they had said, they mentioned someone had gotten pricked because they had to for their job. I said, no. You have a choice to make. You say no. I know it sucks. I'm sorry. I don't want to live under a bridge either.
Yeah, I know, right?
But you can't do that. I just don't understand it. I don't understand.
I know
it. The fact that people are just this, just that, just for a minute, just oh my god. So
If they could cast aside their own personal interests and everything and really look at the world with a new set of eyes and really come to the fruition, really come to the realization of what the hell just happened and understanding, things don't return. I mean, for God's sakes, in a couple of months, we're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of something else we can't like fully talk about, in which, government tyranny yet again reigns. All these things happened.
That whole thing's retarded too.
Mm-hmm. Everything's retarded. I always say that, retarded, once in a while. See, everybody who's a real human being. He's right there.
I'm real.
And
my
beard's slowly catching up on the grays, so it's all good. But of course, the last potential scenario I was thinking of was, the full lights out, grids going down.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that. Not I'm glad you said that, but it reminded me of something.
Okay, go for it.
One of the things that people need to definitely understand, because there's a lot of hopium still that, this couldn't possibly happen. This couldn't possibly happen, on certain levels. But I have to tell you, our infrastructure, the infrastructure of this country, the United States of America, is so weak. It is terribly weak. It is so messed up that people can't really grasp how easily it is to take it all the fuck down.
Yeah.
It really is. When we have, it's not FEMA, but it's emergency management, OEM, Officer of Emergency Management for the county. They have meetings and stuff because they bring in, fire chiefs and training and things. And they talk about just the different things in our area that can be such a hassle. Like it's terrible, but let's say terrorism, right? I mean, obviously that's not even what we're worried about now. It's something else. But if somebody were to do something at the one interchange here at this highway, it would shut down this region. I mean, for hundreds of square miles, everything would be backed up because it's two major thoroughfares that connect out of the city and then go up into the northern part of the state. And it's just like an artery. You shut that down, that other part is going to die. The surface streets can't handle the flow, the amount of traffic. Then you have accidents on those things. Then you have medical emergencies. Then you have, people getting road rage. And you got crime. It's unbelievable how it ramps up to a standstill.
I know, it's scary how fragile our system really is if you really truly look at it.
Yeah, and sorry, I just want to add real quick. It adds to our bug out thing here about leaving and getting out, because certain routes, every fucking body's going on that route.
Mm-hmm.
You should know alternate routes out of your area.
Like all of them.
Back roads. You should know, oh, fuck, that's down, that's blocked. I'm backing the fuck up and going that way. You might go out of your way, but you need to know that stuff. Like even here, I'm aware, and it's weird because I didn't know it was a thing until, I talked to somebody about it, but there's a nuclear power plant here.
Mm-hmm.
It's since been shut down, but there was always the concern if there was ever a leak or anything. And what we found out, or I found out through our Office of Emergency Management, is the wind naturally blows a certain direction through here. So if I were to evacuate, I would be remiss to go up one road because it flows that way, and that's where all the radiation would go and byproducts. So it's like you should even kind of check things out like that. Just saying everything. Try to be aware of everything. Situational awareness. The more info, the better. Help you make a good assessment.
For sure, definitely. And I guess, I guess we could start off with your plan, like how we're gonna. It's like, are you gonna be the type that's just gonna stay at home? Are you gonna bug out to some distant location that you haven't planned, that you may be researching, or you have friends meeting up? People need to take into consideration, like, what is your vehicle of choice? You and me were talking earlier, like saying, we should stick with like what we have, because no one really has, an extra $10,000-$20,000 burning a hole in their pocket. That, you know what, if I just get this vehicle, I can do some quick things here and there. I have like a whole prep kit ready to go.
Right. Or unless if you do, then go for it. If you do it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Shit. If I had the money to do what I really wanted to do, crap, man, I'd have like a badass overland vehicle ready to rock at any given any time. But
but you are 100%. You need to work smart with what you do have.
Oh, yes, definitely, for sure. And then you got to understand like the pros and cons of what your vehicle can and can't do. Because all those will be playing massive factors into like what you can.
Shit. Eric Douillon just said something is 100%. Get an old-fashioned paper map.
I know, right?
Have some, because you know what? They work when there's no power. He makes these guys. He nailed it.
There you go. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And people are like, I mean, today's new cars, they all have infotainment systems. Everything's like plugged into the system. That's another issue that I have with like not really ever wanting to buy any vehicle 2010 and newer for that very reason. Since for the most part, primarily they all have infotainment system. If they have their whole electronic management for their vehicle is like it's all controlled by computers and electronics. Like your transmission, everything's engines, everything's push button start, everything's activated with a key fob of some sort, no longer a key that you can, hey, let me go try and hotwire this bad boy in case of worst case scenario. Not going to happen. That's why it's always good. Like go back to basics. Paper maps. I used paper maps a long time ago when I did a road trip down to California. It worked.
Yeah, I always did paper maps. I still have a couple old paper maps that we took road trip and made little markers on it when we were talking and what time, and little notes like my friend got sick in the car. We made a little note about it. So stupid shit like that. Yeah, that's fun stuff.
It is. Let's see. I was trying to think where the hell I was going with that. Going back to basics. My car was automatic. It now has a manual transmission and different motor in it, which is great and all, but there is the one downside, and that's I have to run premium in my car because it has high compression motor. For all the folks out there, it's like, your new cars, if you have a high compression motor or a forced induction motor, say your car is turbocharged or supercharged, or any of those three essentially, or technically two, but point being is, your car will perform better with the higher octane since it reduces the chances of knock happening in your car. So that's why they say, recommended for this, or you must run such and such octane and things like that. So, if a system went down and I couldn't acquire,
and knock is detonation, right?
Yeah, more detonation leading to knock, which would be more potential for engine failure of some sort. And
so it's firing at the wrong timing,
or firing earlier before.
or after, before or after, and will thus damage your internals. Yes, bad news, people. Yeah, you can mess with that. Certain vehicles, like my truck, my Tahoe, I have a tuner on it. I can tell it whether I want to run 87 or 93. It's still a relatively high compression engine, these newer 5.3s, but because the engine management system and the programming can mess with them.
Oh, I know.
But you're right.
Mine's not like that in my car.
Right. A lot of them you can't do that.
Yeah, my car is 26 years old. It does what it needs to do, but it will. I could say like the pros and cons of my car and its limitations here, and I'll do a quick share here. We'll get some of this going here. So I can share basically people can see my stuff here. But essentially, like my car, little Honda Civic, kind of like this guy right here. You see that?
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
It works. The downside of a car like mine, It is small. Yeah, if you get in an accident, I'm kind of fucked.
Right.
It handles great. So in an outrunning kind of situation, sure, it does great. It gets really good, pretty decent gas mileage. I mean, even with the close ratio gear set that my transmission has, I'm buzzing at about 3,300 RPM or so at 75, 34. Well, I'm at 3,500 at 75 miles an hour in my car. But then again, it's like my car revs to over 8,000 RPM.
I was going to say, what's redlining, Grant? You're right.
It's up there.
You're seriously right in the middle of the range, and VTEC doesn't even kick in, what, till 42?
Oh, mine's like 55.
Oh, okay. Oh, so even higher. So you're still in the lower, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's still, I mean, I still can get like 35 miles. I mean, my car fully loaded when I was moving over to Karen's. I had like the whole back end folded down. I took measurements to everything that I could physically put in my car to carry it through and whatnot. I mean, I couldn't carry all my shit. I had our friend Carrie, she had like another half of my stuff in her motorhome. But I got like primarily like all of my essentials, like clothes, guns, things like that. It got me over here, no problem. And I still got like 37 miles to the gallon. So I'm like, not too bad for a 26-year-old car. I'm not gonna lie. I know then we have, but like I said, my limitations of my car, they exist, and that being it's low. So good luck off-roading. Case of your vehicle, of course, in this scenario, much more easily to traverse any and all inclement road conditions.
Right.
But
I trade off the fuel consumption.
Yeah, I know. What do you get? Like 10, 12?
The best, actually, no. Actually, if I drive and I drive like a human, I can get 20 miles to the gallon in that thing.
Okay.
But I don't drive like that.
No.
So I average on the highway cruising speed, we're ranging 17 to 19, depending on if we're, in mountains. So it's not bad. It's a great, once it gets moving, it's a good vehicle. It's good like that. It's set up for that.
And plus, you have size on you as well. It's like, if you a wreck, you're pretty good. You could probably, you'll walk away from most accidents, no problem. And the vehicle will probably be okay.
Right.
I mean, shit, all you need to do is put a brush guard on the front of yours and you're super freaking set.
Right. Well, I just, it's funny because I look at it, I just want to, I'm on the street, I don't really go off road really, but
yeah,
I like the idea that if I have to, I can do it, and this isn't, mine actually is a pursuit one. So it's actually a street vehicle, but it's 4-wheel drive. I can take it places that, you can't take a car no matter what, even though it is lower.
Yeah.
And that might be a thing. I think the biggest thing is definitely knowing what, like you said, what you have and being realistic and logical, like, all right, am I taking the dogs or am I taking the buckets of food? You got to seriously think about, and I'm not saying that it would ever come down to those two things, but it's that type of thought process if you have to leave, because if you have to leave, if it's at that point, all those other things don't matter. You got to go. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. Yeah. We have to get somewhere else.
Yeah. The beauty thing is, like, you could have, like, if you had like a couple backpacks set and you needed to get the hell out of town, Dodge, like ASAP, and like you can pretty much get a majority of your stuff that you would need to at least get you through a week, you and your family, like in there and gone within probably 30 seconds.
Right. Honestly, the only thing I have not made back up, I have to make another bag of clothing, socks, underwear, t-shirts, because now I've taken everything out because none of my clothes fit. So I can't use any of that. It's like
What?
the dress, everything's dresses. So I have to create another bag. But that is something you should all. You're right. You should have clothing, and then I have two. I have one backpack and like a pistol bag that are just survival things, knives, flashlights, first aid, stuff like that. That boom, I could throw them in any fucking car. I have two. You can carry one. I can carry one. And then, as far as firearms, I'm just grabbing them, and everything, mags, whatever.
Grabbing all the things I can.
I have a duffel bag for that.
Nice. Always...
and so I can be ready to get out of here in minutes.
Nice.
And you should be able to. And I'm not saying I got everything I need. I probably could go through the kit, go through my stuff a little bit better. It's been a while, And honestly, I went through my other car and I threw away the first aid kit because everything was expired. You got to even check that stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you're up to date. And this is, as far as first aid kits, I know this is a terrible, scary fucking thing for anybody, but I highly, highly, highly suggest having an airway kit in your trauma bag, in your bag. Even if you're not the one that's trained to do it, I don't care if I'm dying on the side of the road and you have no fucking training. Do it. Save my fucking life. I don't give a fuck. Do it. An airway is not that hard to put in. The crucial thing is the measurement. You measure from the earlobe to the nose, and that tells you which airway to grab. There's several different sizes. You hold it right up and you go, oh, that's the one. Real easy. Very simple.
Oh.
And when it goes into the mouth, you push it, it's pointed up towards the palate, towards the roof of the mouth, because when you push it and insert it in, as you get to the rear of the mouth, then you rotate it and point it down into the esophagus, because you don't want to push the tongue into the airway.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I say that is because that is the biggest issue in almost every trauma. Everything is breathing. And then what do they attack us with? Face masks. Oh, which attacks our breathing. I'm like, that's why I can't understand how people with more training than me don't see it. How are they not like, what the fuck, man?
They're overthinking.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Everything is about respiratory. Yeah. Children from 0 to 12 years old are a completely different animal. They are treated. They have different protocols regarding everything. And 90% of the issues all go back to respiratory with children. And they make them wear these things. That's why I get so fucking upset.
Yeah, it is retarded. So right now I'm gonna go some screen share here. We're gonna basically kind of run down like the pros and cons of various forms of transportation in these said worst case scenarios, so that people can kind of get up to speed on like why certain vehicles have better attributes versus others. Reason why we're stating, try and go simple if you can, because, newer vehicles, I mean, if anyone's seen like, I know this is kind of stupid in the sense, but, one of the last Fast and Furious movies where, they're controlling cars remotely because they're just hacking them, because people don't realize newer cars can be hacked. And I don't know if they can go to that kind of extent.
Well, to an extent, yes, to an extent. They can shut it down.
They can shut it down.
I think that's the worst. I don't give a whatever. If I'm going 70 miles an hour on the highway and it see me and it's like, oh look, he's in traffic. Let's turn his car off. Now he can't steer anything. Let's see what happens. Huh? What? I mean, it's not a Tesla. It's not driving on its own. That's a scary fucking thing.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, you're right. My truck, it's a 17. I turn it on. And it's weird because it hasn't been consistent. Every now and then it'll just randomly be like, oops, and tell me and be like, oh, this vehicle is partially connected to OnStar. What, the part where you're tracking my location because I don't have any services through you, the concierge or the nav or any of that shit. And then I looked, they do have a nav feature in that infotainment system. I don't get a graphical display, but I could download, or they could send to my car the map or the directions, and
Yeah.
it'd be verbal.
Yes,
Yeah, they know where everything is. Whatever.
I know.
That I don't even care about that anymore. I really, like you said, if I got to get out of here, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this. I wanted to say this before because this is a very fucking tough thing for everyone. Is you got to get your fucking significant other on board, man. You gotta talk to them.
Yeah. So
You gotta talk to them, because that is stifling so many moves, so many things that people aren't doing what they should be doing, and they know they should be doing it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's painful. It's painful. I know it is. I know it is. You know, nobody wants to change their life tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're just gonna, like I always keep saying, like, if shit really hit the fan in the U.S. or wherever, people who are completely oblivious to it all are going to be going, oh, well, it ain't happened to us. While the people like us are going, shit, are they heading to our neck of the woods? And if so, can I outrun them if I don't have a vehicle or if I don't have any mode of transportation in order to get my ass out of Dodge as fast as humanly possible?
Okay, well, there you go. There's another thing about bug out. What if you're doing it on foot? You should probably know where you live.
Yeah,
and where the streams are, the rivers. That's not a horrible idea. I mean, honestly, I know where I am, this area, because we rode dirt bikes like everywhere here for 20 years. I know all kinds of trails to get from one town to another. Where the streams are, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea to know that either. Good.
Yeah.
Good thing. Good. Nice, Ted. Nice.
Yeah. And like the thing I'm like showing right now, it's these little like single wheel dolly backpack extension deals that like they wrap around like a belt or some kind of harness system on the person, so you carry a tent and a bag. Yeah. I just watched this when me and Karen were watching like a little like Canadian prepper video. I was like, I wanted to see like what their idea for apocalypse videos for apocalypse vehicles and why and whatnot. And this kind of came up saying, if gas is unavailable and maybe you don't have a bike or some kind of form of transportation to get the hell out of it.
You might have to hoof it.
You might have to do this, but then this is where it comes to very vital, important part is the carrier of all this is in decent enough shape and that you have enough provisions to last you for however long you need to be out, away from home or on your destination course, all that stuff. Let's see what else we got here.
Well, that kind of goes back to the preparation, and yeah, you're right. It's funny. I always laughed, but I thought it was so poignant in the movie Zombieland when he first is doing his
cardio.
Yeah, he goes cardio, and I laughed. I was like, ha! Oh fuck, he's right. Right, he's right.
And that's like
sucked to hear it, but he's right. And I'm not saying any of us are gonna fucking run a marathon, but we might want to be able to walk to the corner store at least.
Or if in the case that you do have to run a mile, that after that mile you're not going to collapse on the ground and die.
Right.
That would also be helpful.
And I'm no runner. The only my advantage now, or my only thing, is that I've lost weight, so I have less to carry. But
yeah,
that's it right now. I mean, but yeah, cardio's a thing. Singe Man, on Amazon they have them. There's all different ones. They're just called airway kits. You'll see, and you can watch videos on them. You'll see how they are. And actually, if any of you want training, go online on YouTube. They have, what you do is you go and look at the training videos, because they'll show you, when you go in to do like I'll go in and do a blood section, and I have to show how I address the blood. They're like, okay, they have a cut. What do you do? Well, I apply gauze. It's still bleeding. Okay, what do? You apply more gauze. They ask you, do you take it off to check it? No, you never remove it. Whatever you put on, it stays on until it's out. You don't ever pull it back off. You don't pull it off to check. You keep adding to it unless you're going to suture it.
Mm-hmm.
And so those videos are on there, and you can see how these things work, and so you have an understanding. Because you know what, I'm not giving anyone medical advice. I'm saying that if it's the end of the fucking world and you feel like you want to save your kid's life or your wife's life and they're going to die if you don't do something, it's probably not a bad idea to have this shit on hand.
Yeah, just saying,
just saying.
Yeah,
like I always say, if you panic, you die, and if you do nothing, you die. Okay. So you got to do something. You may be the wrong decision and you still die, but if you don't do anything, you're certainly going to die. For
sure. All right, so we'll segue this into the pros and cons of various different type of vehicles. What you think? I mean, this might correlate with some people here and there, especially if you're going, the extra mile and you're going to probably be on the run for a while, or you're standing your ground at your current residence, but you still need to go out every so often to replenish food and supplies. Well, here we go. We got Dodge Charger. Basically, I'd go any mid-sized, large sedan or car, essentially.
Right.
The pro
and those are available in all-wheel drive for northern areas with inclement weather and things like that.
Yeah, rain, snow, things like that would be kind of nice. But it does not mean that you can just drive like a
Oh yeah, it's not
to the floor all the time, even with the all-wheel drive. And you still have to take precautions. Like your car does have limitations. Even though cars nowadays have all these other driving aids that can make the world's biggest noob feel like a professional. But, newer cars, or any car, essentially, you got to know your car. You got to know, basic maintenance, maybe at least oil change, spark plugs, air cleaner, how to rotate tires. Not very simple, just on both. Switch depending if you have directional tires. If you have directional tires in the same size, you just put fronts to the back to the front. Back in the day, when there's omnidirectional tires, in situations like this, you would rotate your rear passenger, your driver front, and your driver front would go maybe across to your passenger side, and this one would be
crisscrossed.
Yeah, with your tires.
Yeah.
But then you also got to think about check any and all recalls that may pertain to your vehicle and or year of vehicle. The first batch of mostly any new vehicle, you're going to have your bugs. You got to be careful with that.
You can literally type your VIN into Google and run it and find their sites. I guarantee you'll be able to find information on decoding your vehicle. And you can always just call any manufacturer and speak to their service department, give them the VIN, and they legally have to tell you if there's a recall, because that's a mandatory thing.
Yeah,
recalls only come around when enough people die. There's service bulletins out the yin yang. They know all the problems and all the defects with their cars when they get sold. But if enough people don't die, it doesn't become a recall. Yeah. That's just the way it works. It's fucked up.
It is fucked up. Yeah. Let's see. Another option for vehicles, these are quite common in America, but hybrids. You do get, the little best of both worlds. Some allow for a full EV mode, essentially, but primarily it's just there to aid the little gasoline or diesel engine, whichever you have, to attain better gas.
Billingtano made a good point. Grabbing a Haynes.
Oh, yes.
Or a Chilton. Yeah, You should always have a book for anything you own. That's funny. I can't believe I didn't even say that, because every vehicle I've ever owned, I buy the book.
Yeah.
I downloaded even to my phone, the whole General Motors thing with because also you can check a lot of manufacturers and go online. GM calls it RPO codes. Other manufacturers call it different stuff. but
Mhm.
it'll give you the specifics on your vehicle, axle weights, ratios, things like that you may need to know if you need to order a part or something like that.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah,
do a lot of that. I would
exactly.
suggest doing it now before the power goes out, and maybe print the sheets. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Who knows if that'll
exactly.
even matter.
Hmm. But along also with your vehicles, make sure that they are up to snuff. Your tires are decent. Try to aim to max. Don't be like running your tires completely to being bald or cracked on the sidewalls, things like that. There is a way to tell the age of your tire if you don't know that already. I don't know if I don't know if I can get any
You have a
closer.
picture of it? Yeah.
I don't. I could
Oh, okay.
pull one up here real
There,
quick.
it's stamped on the tire. The date
Yeah,
of manufacture is stamped on the tire.
yeah. It'll be like the week, the number of the weeks, and the year. It'd be like 14,
Yeah, what's it?
19
Is
or something like that.
is that Julian calendar? Is that what it is? No,
What?
I forgot
Oh,
what that's called.
shit, I forget.
I don't know, but yeah, it has the date, the manufacturer. So.
Yeah, it'll be like right next. It'll be like right around where they see the tire size and everything. It's like in a little oval
Right.
shape type thing. It tells you it'd be like if it said 1419 on the side, that means the 14th week of 2019. So your tires, be about 2.5 years old or so.
Right.
But again, also but then again with hybrids.
Remember,
and
they're rubber. Tires are rubber. There are compounds, but they're rubber, and they contain VOCs, volatile organic compounds, which slowly seep out of the rubber, and that's why they dry rot over time and get hard and brittle.
As well as
and worn. And then also, real quick, with treadwear, for basic, let's say Northeast again, so that's where I am, but let's say you got snow, the minimum tread thickness or depth you should have minimum is at least 630 seconds of tread depth, because you want it to bite into and this is also for rain as well, because you want it to bite into that so that it can channel the water away, or it can get the snow into the tread, come back around, be flexible enough to clean itself, and then come back and bite into the snow again. So you want minimum 630 seconds. You can easily take a penny, put it into the tread, and if the top of Lincoln's head is just covered, that is 230 seconds worth of depth. That is the minimum legal depth you can have to pass inspection. To me, that is totally unsafe. You should have already replaced them fucking things.
Yeah.
Because
most everywhere else, it's like 430 seconds.
yeah. Well, here, in New York. And also, not for nothing, but, and this was weird. I never made sense to me. My dad said it to me, and then I lost control in the rain. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 horsepower, the biggest brakes in the world, the best suspension. You could have all that shit. If you're driving on shitty rubber, you're fucked. It's the only thing touching the ground. Only thing touching the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
That has to be the thing you don't cut the corners on.
Yeah, brakes and I would say brakes and tires.
Well, brakes. Well, yeah, obviously brakes. Brakes is real too. Yeah. Never on brakes.
And it's like speed doesn't kill; it's the sudden stops or the lack of the sudden stops that could equate to death.
Right. It's the sudden deceleration, and that's quite honestly true. And just is a horrible fact, but a child from 0 to 12 months old can be fatally injured in an MVA without any direct impact, just from being shaken as low as 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
So there's that.
Damn. Well, let's see. But also with the hybrid vehicles that most people don't know, or they already have them, after a while, just like your phones, just like any EV vehicles, the battery charge does not hold the same amount over time. It slowly decreases after so many charges and discharges of the battery. So that can be a problem. So, that's Well, that's one of the main reasons I hate the Toyota Prius. Actually, I undeniably I hate this vehicle more than it's. You have the Elite, and about half an inch below the Elite, there's a Toyota Prius, and that's where they fall into ranks with me. I don't like them. But the worst part is I've had car breakdowns where I was a Prius owner that actually helped me. I'm like, this is karma, man. This is horrible. I'm like,
That's
but
funny.
whatever.
Remember the South Park episode? Prius
do not.
owners, they're so smug, they like to smell their own farts.
That sounds about right. Yeah, they got their head up their asses, so they're perfectly set to go.
God. Oh my God.
But anyway,
yeah, it is messed up because it's like, you're so smug, you're Prius, you're hybrid. What are you doing with that battery when you're done with the car? Where's that going?
Yeah.
Is that sitting in a landfill for 1,000 years? Those chemicals going to leak out and then cause the kid down the street to be born with 4 arms? Who knows? What's up?
Exactly.
You know?
And then there's the EVs that good and bad. No emissions. They're quiet. Hey, you want to sneak around town without being detected? There you go. But they're all encompassed with electronics of all sorts. They could be controlled. Basically, they're a human interacting with a drone on the inside. But there is the limited range.
That's right. FEMA, do you drive a Prius? I forgot. FEMA just left. He says, "See you, dickheads. I drive for a living."
Hey, I used to drive for a living too. I was a garbage man.
Yeah, he does Uber and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, he probably. Prius, they get good gas mileage. Good for you, but I hate them. I absolutely 100% hate them.
I know he didn't buy it because it's tree hugging. He bought it because
I plan on picking up so much pussy.
I got fucking work.
Happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
But
and I don't like. I don't like the self-driving stuff.
That shows you the interference and the full logistics of like what the reach is of control on your own vehicle. Because then you got to think about what's. Here's another thing that's kind of going on off a tangent here, but kind of segueing into something else.
I'll tell you something about Tesla dealerships. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, but I do subscribe to some blue-pilled car channels and everything, and the big talk on right now is internal combustion engines. You have overseas in Europe how they're trying to work towards making all internal combustion engines obsolete by 2030. They're going to be electric or whatever, hydrogen or any kind of. They're trying to go for a zero emissions kind of shit. And then
I don't hate hydrogen. I don't hate that.
No, I don't hate on any like alternative fuel vehicles as long as it's potentially sustainable and we can stay out the freaking quote unquote. Well, let me do this better here. Quote unquote. Fossil fuels, which is utter garbage. But we do know that they do have
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
Some go to the museum. Some go to your gas pump. It's simple, right? Yeah.
Dinosaur DNA.
Just cloning it, and we're making all sorts of gas and oil.
All sorts of gas and oil.
It's retarded. But that's what they're like. But
real quick, the Tesla thing. Because, like you said, they're so intrusive. All those cars have cameras, microphones. The guys at the dealership, if you ever go to a dealer and let's say you're going to service, they crank music like super loud. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, I like music, but aren't you guys working? And what they told me is they do it because customers are douches and they're listening to everything. And they're always, some asshole sitting on his couch and he's just looking, he's being all social justice warrior. He's like, we've gotten so many calls of, oh, well, this mechanic said this, or this guy said that. And it's like, fuck you, man. He's in his workplace. Leave him the fuck alone. And it even that is intrusive. It's everywhere. And that car enables that. So crazy.
It is crazy. I can't.
Oh, look at that. Look what time it is. 9:11.
Oh yeah, my good old 9/11. Gotta love it. What else was I gonna do? Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, EV vehicles, same with hybrids. Your battery's going to run out over time. But you also have to think about charging stations. If the grid was to go down or there's a big EMP attack, you're not getting far, and you're not going to be going far for long.
No.
It's
There's some. I'm trying to think. Was it some of the deuce and a halves? It might be the 5-ton. Some of the older Army trucks that they're multi-fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing. One thing I wanted to chit chat about was because no, fuck the EVs. I mean, go to the truck. Yeah, you can get military vehicle. Wait, no shit. I know I had military vehicles somewhere in here. Basically overlanding vehicles. Oh, here we go. Military vehicles. Yeah, you can buy like deuce and a half, 5 tons.
You can get some good deals on them.
Yeah, you can.
And that fucker will go anywhere.
Yeah, but they will not go fast, but they can carry whatever you need.
Your house.
At their house. I mean, this one basically has a house. I saw one in northern Idaho years ago, basically something like this. It had, but this part on the side slid out, had the same thing on the other side. Downside though was, the ceiling was only about 6 foot, and I'm 6'3". You can kind of guess where this is going. Yeah, it sucks. That last inch or so, a couple inches, it just made my life kind of hell. But
it'd still be better than living in a soft tent on the side of some trail.
Yeah. Or like I said,
I always wanted one of those. Oh man.
Or better yet,
wanted a deuce and a half.
Or if money was no object and you really wanted to stay away and you could get away, I mean, something like this would be ultimate.
Is that a Unimog?
No, I don't know who the manufacturer is. Global Expedition Vehicles, probably not. It's probably I have no idea. Maybe like an Mercedes.
There's a lot of good stuff.
I know you can what these things like I said, if money is no object, you could have something for you and your family to be able to live off grid for months at a time, and at the same time you'll also be able to carry spare tires and wheels. You would have room for tanks to for extra fuel, extra water, a generator if need be. You could have a whole top decked out for solar. You can have
I'm glad you said that too. That's a big thing. I would just researching. I'm going to purchase, instead of a gas generator, I'm buying a solar generator
or a diesel generator, which that's another thing also, is minimize the types of fuel that you would actually have to use. Say if you have a diesel rig, use a diesel generator.
Zero freaking it runs, it's Blue Yeti. It's made by Generac, the company that makes all those big home generator systems.
Mm-hmm.
It's lithium-ion battery. It can run continuous 2,000 watts. You can run a table saw on this fucking thing if you need to. Not that in the apocalypse that's top priority, but what if we got to cut some fucking wood?
Yeah.
But it charges with solar panels. And what I saw was, I looked into it. It comes with 200 watt panel. We'll charge it in about an hour longer than plugging it into an outlet. But you can daisy chain additional solar panels and charge it even faster. And you can get an additional one, daisy chain that. And if you put more of the panels, they also run while they charge. So you can have continuous tons of power, run your AC, run your fridge, run everything, but in the car and in this stuff, look into the 12 volt systems. There is so much 12 volt systems, so many fridges, ACs, fans, power, lights, everything. There's so much. I'm lucky. My truck, because it's the old cop car in the back, because that was one of the options on that vehicle, it has 2 batteries. And in the back, it has a rear, separate from every other system in the car, 100 amp service that runs off that other battery. And I can suck that battery completely dry, and it will not touch the other battery. The other battery will stay fully charged, and I can start the truck at any time. And then I think the factory, it's like a 200 amp alternator or something like that and charge it
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of systems you can run on 12 volts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's why. Also, with today's modern motorhomes and
There you go. You brought it right up.
I did. Motorhomes or overland vehicles. You can get inverters, so you can take your battery power and convert it to 12 volts, so you can use your coffee maker, microwave, anything that you might have. But of course, there are pros and cons of overland vehicles, military trucks, and motorhomes. And you know where I'm going with this. It's the fuel mileage. You ain't getting shit.
Right.
Diesels, yeah, they will definitely be far superior over a gasoline engine if you're going the distance, along also with various storage for more stuff if you need. Like I said, this is all hypothetical, end of the world scenario stuff, and you need to stay out. This is like, okay, home is not safe. We need to get on the road. If I had my option, it'd probably be something close to this, or between this and an overland vehicle for sure.
Yeah, if it was my option, I'd have a 4-wheel drive Deuce and a half with a box on it with a slide out, my home, and I would tow my Tahoe behind me. And then that would be my base of operations. Park that in the middle of fucking nowhere in the woods somewhere, and then take the Tahoe and go explore, do whatever I got to do.
Yeah. And also another good thing, it just made me think about also with the diesels, especially if you get the older diesels, basically anything that now requires diesel exhaust fluid or DEF, for those that should know, it's just more stuff for stingier emissions standards that diesel vehicles have to comply with. But if you can get old vehicles, like older diesel vehicles, say we'll just roughhouse it, go 2005 and older, those can potentially run on vegetable oil or other biofuels. That's always a possibility. So it's like, oh shit, grocery stores might be open or something like that, or they're closed, but there's only so much. There's vegetable oil is only available. Might grab a whole bunch of that. We could power something. Another also potential option, maybe like a small travel trailer. So you could have this tucked away somewhere in the woods or something if you need to fully get the F out, and use your other vehicle, hopefully, strong enough to carry make sure it is strong enough to pull it and all that.
Right. But, Miss Mays makes a good point. Pulling a trailer is better than a motorhome, because if the motorhome breaks down, everything in it is in there and it's harder to get towed and more expensive. Yes. Good point. Mm-hmm. The only reason my ideal is the bigger truck is because that's where I live. So wherever it is where I live. But yeah, even a capable that's something too that I looked into, that they have even the little landscaping trailers and utility trailers. Mm-hmm. They have ones that the back wall flips down, right? Mm-hmm. But some of them have doors and windows already built in, and you could totally put in collapsible furniture. You can set it all up so you could actually live out of that too. Yeah. So that could work. Mm-hmm. And like I said, with solar power, it really is not what it used to be. And those sealed units you can run inside. Yeah. So you could have 2 or 3 of those in that trailer, some panels on the roof, and you could have continuous juice at all times for everything. Your pumps, your radio, your lights, your heat, your AC, your fridge, everything. Have all your amenities right there and be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. And another vehicle choice, if per se you get to stay home, but you don't want to be carrying around, you don't want to be in something big and bulky, and you just want to in and out. Maybe you're just I'm getting way, this is crazy too, doom and gloom, shit hit the fan kind of scenario, but using a motorcycle or a scooter for scouting type purposes, check, see if there's other people around you, other supplies nearby.
Yeah, well, I like Daryl too. He was the cool one. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's my Walking Dead reference.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Oh, everyone hates the redneck until shit hits the fan, right?
Yeah. And you know what? The scooter, that right there, that is perfect.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. The 50cc ones usually top out about 35 miles an hour. There are little tips and little things you can do to
That's
bump
still
that
faster
up.
than you walking.
Yeah, true. And these 50cc engines, if you've good brand, I used to have like a Honda Ruckus 50cc scooter, but it would get about 100 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. My friend it was a Honda Express. It had a 33cc engine. And that little thing, we fucked with it. We broke the muffler off and welded on a little pipe and made it bigger. And it was cool as hell, man. That thing was fun. We took it everywhere. Two of us, everywhere.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, crazy.
It's great, like different types of, but of course, bare basics, bicycle. Can't go wrong with a bicycle.
Actually, that's interesting you said that, because I have seriously been looking into e-bikes over doing like a motorcycle or something to have, because they have incredible range now. They're getting so much better.
Oh yeah, some are going like 30 miles at and they go at a top speed of like 28 miles an hour. I'm like, damn.
Stupid light. And they make them even fat tire ones. The one I was looking at was a fat tire bike.
Oh, nice.
Comfortable 4-inch tires. It was really nice. Goes like I think 28 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah. On full juice. So that's great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you can pedal. And those you can get those little trailer things too that you can pull behind it.
Mm-hmm. Very true. That those little single wheel deals. Yeah, because I got my first experience riding an e-bike last year when it was me, Brian, Karen, and Carrie went out to Myrtle Beach, and I had and since because of the stupidity in the world, the delivery people couldn't drop the food off at the campground where we're at, so I had to take Carrie's e-bike and book up about a quarter mile, like about. I don't know how.
I bet it was fun as hell.
Oh yeah, but it was kind of wet too. But I'm like mobbing. That's cool. I'm still mobbing in that thing. I'm like, I don't give a shit. This thing's fast. I'm like, passing.
Nice. That's nice.
Oh, I know, because there's like a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I don't know how fast. I was going faster than that, but it was fun.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, and even just a basic bicycle, not an e-bike. A big fat tire bicycle right here.
Right. Well, they even have. I mean, they have kits you can convert a regular old bicycle into an e-bike.
Yeah, I've seen those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy did a gas conversion. He bought off of Wish.
Oh shit!
And I mean, it was some crazy, weird Chinese crap, but it works. It ain't fast. I would go electric. I'd do that because now they do it. It's just a replacement front wheel. It's simple. It comes all completely set up. The frickin' everything is built into the wheel, and you just have the controller and the battery up on the bars.
Yeah, I like that. But here is another last ditch option for those who are animal friendly and know how to ride.
Some of them probably have.
Oh yeah,
these.
And was it Karen used to ride horses back when she was younger? I know Awesome Austin. He used to train horses and break horses and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, horses, they could live about 30, 35 years old. Granted, break a leg, it's kind of then you got a meal, but. They can carry you. They can go long distances. They can go, speeds up like 30 miles an hour, and they run on hay.
That's
grass
true.
And carrots, whatever. But they'll require a lot of it. But it all depends on where you live. Another option, of course, this may just be like the work truck of the animal world, but pack mule.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Some people probably do have that.
Yeah, I know. At least
Actually, I do. Actually, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. I know people who have horses. I'm so stupid. Sorry.
All good. But yeah. That's another
interesting. But
yeah.
I mean, they're pets. That's another thing you got to consider. Are you bringing pets with you? Are you bringing food for the pets?
Yeah,
And we call them pets, but I'm sorry I even use that word because they're family. My dogs aren't staying behind.
Yeah, I know. It's like
I can't leave them.
I know. It's like I'm not gonna go and turn and go. Sorry, Remy, you got to stay here. Look after the house. Like
never
I
happening.
can't do that. I love that dog.
Yeah, never happening. Never happening.
Yeah, exactly. Another potential option. If waterways, maybe you have a canoe or a little light powered boat, sailboat, something.
Oh, don't forget extra meds in your bug out kits. Even
Very
if it's
sure. Yes,
just
definitely.
DMSO and things and stuff.
Anything that potentially could heal you, or not. I can't say to heal you, but could ease some of your issues that you may be experiencing in case of a worst case scenario situation.
Yes.
There we go. Trust the WHO and the CDC. They love you.
I have to purchase another thing of Centrum. Centrum Men's Daily Vitamin has 100 milligrams of zinc, and I take 2 and 4 ounces of Schweppes tonic water when I don't feel good.
Yeah, that also made me think about another potential hazardous outcome and situation, and that is the amount of Americans or just people abroad who are on some form of meds.
Mm-hmm.
If the hospitals are down, if the pharmacies are closed,
think about all the Prozac, Xanax zombies you're gonna have to fight.
Oh man, just what you need. And this one I just threw in here for shits and giggles and potentially fun if I had the ability and could do it. But simplicity, going with a glider. But you need to have, a suitable area which you could fly this continuously. Say you want to try and travel.
Yeah.
Of course, there is many downsides.
That's all right, Ted. That's all right, Ted. We just got to get Bob to the aircraft, and he can fly us the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Or don't forget Tommy. That flat fellow.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know.
He's flown Cessnas as well. So I'm like, nice. Sweet, we got a couple pilots.
Nice. I've landed 747s on my brother-in-law's simulator, and he's a pilot. Well, he was about to be a commercial pilot, but his eyes shit the bed, and he has a simulator in his house. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is totally accurate and totally real. And he goes, I can't believe you just took off in a 747 and landed it. He goes, all I did was walk you through the checklist. I was like, nobody ever does that. Everybody crashes it. I was like, well, I don't know. It just made sense.
Yeah.
You're 40 feet above the ground. You don't go smashing into the pavement.
Yeah, right? Well, I guess so in case of that situation, then you can go for like light aircraft. But again, these are basically, it would be like basically scouting purposes, unless you have a decent sized Cessna or some kind of like twin engine small private craft that you could actually use. But then here comes, you need fuel, and like Cessnas and even your little piston planes, they require like 100 octane. I forget the full term for it is, but they use a special blend of like gasoline fuel that's good for them.
I don't know why I thought of this, but the airports, like let's say the small little local airports, there's probably nobody there at 2 a.m, whatever. Mm-hmm. They have a thing, if you know their frequency, the radio for that airport, if you click the radio multiple times, all the lights come on for you to land. I don't know why I thought, and maybe that might be helpful in a situation when you're on the ground. And what led me to the thought was you should also have radios, portable radios. I have a portable radio. It's exactly the same frequency. I have all the police bands, all my fire departments, everything. It's totally legal to monitor. Mm-hmm. You're just not legally allowed to transmit on it. But if it's the end of the fucking world, who gives a fuck if you need to talk to somebody to live?
Right.
So and they're cheap. You can get them on Amazon, Baofeng, and you can buy the software, everything, load them right up, put all the frequencies in it. I have several, so I can give them to each other if we need to communicate with each other,
Nice.
car-wise and things like that. Those are also in the kit.
Awesome. Okay, well then I guess we can actually go to the actual crux of all of this and that was basically just your simple driving tips in situations like your every day-to-day life, as well as potential driving that you may have to encounter if well, all chaos breaks loose. But it starts basically right with where you sit down. I'm just going to go over my little few lists of things here, and if you want to interject and throw in something for me, that's awesome. But first and foremost, adjust your seat. Make sure your mirrors are all adjusted so that when you glance at them with your eyes, that you see maybe about a third of your car and 2/3 of the roadway to your left or your right, depending on which mirror you're using. Your rear view mirror, of course, make sure it's looking directly at your face at all times. No, make sure you actually have a good view of vehicles in your directly behind you, essentially. Also, maybe slightly to the right, because actually I'm trying to think about how I actually do it. Yeah, mine's to the right.
My mirrors. Oh, I was gonna say I have my side view mirrors, right, looking rearward, are slightly down below my roof line and out enough where I do not see my vehicle whatsoever. Like right at the edge of it is my vehicle, so I know any closer, that's inside. He's inside my car, So that way I get as much outward, and I like the downward a little bit because I'm usually looking 10, 15 cars back. I don't give a fuck about the dude I just passed because I'm already past him. I'm looking to see if somebody coming up on me. That's what I'm always, and it's weird because I didn't come from to drive fast and look for cops chasing me. It came from my dad, who back when he was a cop, he did a whole bunch of protection details and got trained by the FBI for driving and tactics and being aware of other cars and things. And we used to drive around like that, just goofing. He'd be training me, we would just be playing. And I'm always stuck with me. I'm always observant, watching back there. My friends, I'm sorry, they get mad that I don't use signals. But honestly, I don't mean to be douchey, but by the time I've already made my maneuver, people aren't even going to react to it.
Yeah, no, for the most part, most people don't.
I'm already gone. Gone. I mostly want to be away from other vehicles and other cars. That is my biggest thing. I don't like being near other people because they make me nervous. I know what I'm doing. I know the capabilities of my car. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I can't fuck up, but I know what I'm doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if that guy's trying to eat a cheeseburger, adjust the radio, and roll a joint. I don't know. I don't know if mommy's yelling at the two kids and trying to give them juice boxes, while hubby's saying, get off the next exit. I don't. Yeah. That makes me nervous.
Yeah,
so
those people.
I just want to get away.
Exactly. That's what leads to my next bit here. Minimizing distractions to keep your attention focused on the road ahead and everything. You're just talking about, people who are eating, texting, changing the radio station, if you get your eyes off the road for, as little as even a second, something can happen. An animal could jump out of your way. This can happen to me several years back. I was heading back to my mom's place in northern Idaho. I'm driving. I was putting my cigarette out in my ashtray. I look up. I'm seeing the white the whites of a deer's ass, out in front of me, and I'm doing 60 miles an hour at this time. I just did instinctive reaction. I just did a quick blip to the right around it, but I'm like, holy F.
Right.
So now,
in a second of 60 miles, what did you travel? 180 feet or something like that? I forgot what it was.
Oh man, if it.
1 second, boom, yeah.
Yeah, it it just it probably it could have been like 180 feet or so, but it was coming up quick. I mean, I just looked up and I'm just seeing a deer, the rear end of the deer, but luckily the deer had mostly crossed in front of my car. Is actually almost more into the oncoming traffic. But there was no traffic. I mean, this is late at night in northern Idaho.
Yeah, I almost hit a deer on my motorcycle. That scared the shit out of me. But I had one of those where I looked down for a second, looked back up, and I was like, I think I was 19 maybe, because I wasn't old enough to buy booze. And it was like weird how it switched the ages. I think it was like 19. I had my mother in the car at a 74 Camaro. We were driving on the Cross Bronx through Bronx City, New York. I had taken her to her cousins or something. And at the time, I was, obviously the same height, but I think I was probably 290 pounds, 300 pounds, with a mohawk, a camouflage army military jacket, jeans, combat boots, and my pants tucked in my boots. I looked down for a second, looked back up. Oh, fuck, hit the brakes, come sliding, and rear end this little yellow Volkswagen Beetle with New Mexico plates. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I hit somebody. I'm like, Mom, you okay? She's like, I'm okay. I jump out. The guy gets out of his car. I go up to him like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he jumps out, looks at me, looks at his car, looks at me, jumps in his fucking car, and takes the fuck off. And I was like, what just happened? And I looked, I had a little nick. His bumper was totally folded. Those little metal bumpers. I had a little nick on the rubber on my bumper. And I got in the car and I'm like, Mom, what just happened? And she's like, you do know what you look like, right? And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, you're a little scary. And I'm like, but I'm not scary. I'm the nicest guy in the fucking world. But yeah, he just took off. It was so fucked up. So fucked up. I felt terrible.
Yes. That's very important to make sure to keep your distractions to a minimal. So at least now this kind of segues into just basic simple driving tips that can go well with any vehicle, really. Use your mirrors. We just talked about how to set them so that you can see the road around you, your potential people on the roads. And when you were just talking about, this is when I picked up on, when I was a garbage man, when you're driving a big ass truck, you got to look far ahead. And that can work. That can coexist with your every day-to-day vehicle, your daily vehicles. If you can, look up to a quarter mile ahead, because if you're on the freeway, that could be the difference between you being stuck in a shit ton of traffic or taking the next exit and finding your way around.
Yeah, or being involved in it, or stopping in time. That's a thing. These people on the freeways, I don't understand. How do you have a 400 car pileup? Honestly, I get it in super dense fog, but I don't drive in that. I get off the road. I don't fucking do that. And here's something: if you pull over, let's say the road is so foggy, and you're like, man, I don't really think I should keep moving, and you're like going to go off onto the shoulder or whatever. Turn your fucking lights off. Because if somebody sees your lights, they're coming at you thinking you're the road. Yeah. I know it's horrible, but this is from a trooper friend of mine who he taught defensive driving. And he was like, dude, we get and I know this even from the sheriff's department, the cop cars get hit on the side of the road all the time. Middle of the night, nobody else on the road, a single car, and they get hit, fucking rear-ended. It's like, what are you doing? What happened? It just draws you in like moths to a flame. It's unbelievable. Maybe
that's why moths do that. Who knows?
Yeah, it's psychological, I guess. I mean, obviously.
It's something. But also along with looking far ahead, make sure you're scanning. You're using your mirrors. You're actually turning your head every so often, because if you find yourself like not looking, you haven't checked your mirrors in a while, then you probably haven't checked your mirrors in a long time, and you should be doing that because you don't know if there's emergency vehicles responding to an incident. There might be some crazy asshole on the freeway.
What if Zulu's coming up behind you?
What if Zulu's coming around behind you? I
Move
know.
over. I'll be gone. I got to get to Flattoberfest. I got to get to
Shit.
Ted's house. I'll be
I know,
gone.
right? But also,
No, but
looking
you're
far ahead.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. People don't check. You have to check your mirrors constantly.
Mhm.
Constantly. You need to be aware of what's next to you, what's in front of you, what the hell cars are doing 10 cars down, what cars are going on 10 cars behind you.
Mhm.
And not even, like I said, not even just because, you might be speeding or cops or whatever.
You don't know what
People
they're
are
doing.
not, yeah, they're not paying it. They could jam you up and get you sucked into this whole thing. Like you just said, pay attention.
Yeah.
I've seen that, right? Where you're like, what the hell? Oh shit, traffic stopped up there. I'm getting off here. You're right.
Exactly. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, I definitely pay attention to that kind of behavior when I'm on the freeway, especially, if there's like, you're going from normal traffic speeds down to, maybe 15 miles an hour because some idiot, I don't know, people rubbernecking an accident or less than that, I'll be paying attention to what's going on ahead and kind of seeing how the people in front are behaving and driving. Are they moving over because the lane's closed, or are they braking suddenly and abruptly? I'm checking the person in my rearview mirror because there's a chance that dude is not looking far ahead like I am and could potentially slam into me. So usually in those
Correct.
situations, I get my ass over just in case it's not my vehicle that's going to get rear-ended at a higher rate of speed.
Correct.
Correct. Yes. Also,
Dude, that's terrifying on motorcycle. Oh my God, that was my biggest fear. Sitting at a fucking red light was getting hit by somebody because they weren't paying attention. Like my friends, I didn't understand them. They would pull up to the light, put the bike in neutral, flex their muscles, try to look cool, and I would sit there in gear, looking in the mirrors, ready to fucking rip and take off the whole time. I didn't trust anybody.
I know you have to, unfortunately, as honest and happy and so welcoming to others in the world for other things. I go on through life on the roadways like this, very simply. Everyone's a fucking idiot. Not to say that I'm the best driver in the world, but I'm going to be the most attentive and aware driver on the road. And I definitely do not want any of these guys. I don't trust any of them, honestly, unless I personally know them and know their driving behaviors.
Right.
Because
well, I'll give you credit, Ted. You're one of the few drivers that I am comfortable with, and I can say that I could sleep while you're driving.
Yeah, if you can, I know there's very, very few people. I can't sleep on an airplane.
Right.
Probably because they're controlled by electronics the entire time, and if that kind of shit goes out of it, might, I don't know.
Right, if somebody hits the button, you're doomed.
I know. But people who don't pay attention, those are the people who make little small adjustments all the damn time. Kind of scary. That's funny. But another simple tips: reducing speed in bad weather. You hear that all the time. It makes. I didn't realize how bad the rain can get here in North Carolina, but their freeways, the speed limits are like 65. I might be around 70, 75 at times. But it's dry weather, no problem. But you add the rain, I have to drop actually way below the freaking speed limit because I cannot gain traction in my car to save my life. It's it actually, there are times I was feeling like my front end dancing, hydroplaning, which another thing what you said before, you panic, you're dead. In situations where you're hydroplaning, the best thing you can do is just get off the gas. Don't get on those brakes because most people will be panicking. They'll be like, must stop on the brakes right here and there. It's like your car is literally floating on water.
Yeah, you're not touching the ground right now.
There's no contact.
Right. Right. The key to everything I will say, and this was something Pops showed me a long time ago, is smooth. It doesn't matter if you're going fast, slow, whatever.
Smooth is
smooth. Fast. All your transitions have to be smooth. They have to be not herky-jerky because that's what messes up the dynamics of the vehicle. Like even going into a turn, powering through the turn, you have to apply your throttle at smoothly and it's weird how people I explain that no when we go into the turn I gas it and they're like, what do you mean? You're not slowing down. I'm like, no, we're going faster to get traction, for lateral acceleration. The way everything's set up, we want to be on the throttle. And okay, and
it's
yeah, I know.
I was going to say that's this is a racing tip, which I'd say works predominantly very well also with daily driving, and that's just braking in a straight line. It may not mean much, but if you're going into a corner really fast and you decide to hit the brakes right then, halfway through a corner, you're going, oh, yep, I've exceeded the limit of my car's tires. I'm going to either fishtail or I'm going to understeer. That's even a more scary situation. But understeer is basically, think of we use a phone for example here. You're trying to turn, but you get your wheels pointed one way, but it's still going straight. It's not a fun experience, not a fun time. The way to correct that, you correct that by getting off the gas and trying to straighten your wheels. That is unfortunately one of the only few ways of doing it. Or you can be kind of risky. You want to try and bring out your rallycross driving style, and you can get the e-brake to kind of rotate the rear end around. But if you haven't done it before, don't do it now.
Right.
It's not good because you might be you might forget you'll be thinking, oh shit, my car's pitching this way now. Oh shit, my e-brake's still going on. You got to slam that down. But then you have to adjust your steering inputs.
It's probably a good idea, even if you've had your car a while and you're a pretty good driver, just to maybe go out on empty roads, whatever, and just not necessarily get it up to 80 and panic stop because the brakes might not be balanced. You might lose control, and fucking go into the woods. But get a little speed, scrub off some speed, get used to the transitions, know what your car does. That's not just a bad driving tip,
Yeah.
As far as, because like you said, and it's weird because I wasn't thinking about any of the evasive driving, evoc driving, any of that stuff. And now that we're talking about, if it's a bug out situation, you might have to drive like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't thinking that. I can, if it comes down to it, I do it. I have done it. I've been there. I've been in situations where I had to get to something or from something or whatever it was. And so I get it, but I didn't realize that, that might be a thing.
Yeah. It's kind of scary to think that, that could potentially happen. It's like, I don't want it to happen, but you know what? I'd rather be prepared than it's like, let's say with, weapons. It's, or it's better to have a gun and not need it, and need a gun and not have it.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Oh yeah, but we were just talking.
Yeah, right. It's definitely better to have a flashlight and not need it. Anything, and any of those tools. I'd rather be prepared. And it's odd. Is somebody made the comment, "You always have a flashlight," and I'm like, "Yeah." I always joked, I'm afraid of the dark. No, I'm not afraid of the dark. Whatever's out in the dark should be afraid of me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just don't like to not be able to fucking see what I want to do.
Yeah.
They exist. Why doesn't everyone? I have this tiny little thing in my. It's a USB. It's 600 lumens. It is ludicrous fucking bright, and it's so tiny. It runs forever. It has a little red and blue flashing light on it, a red flashing light, an amber flashing light, an amber steady light if I want to use it as, like a camp light. It's ridiculous. It's, things like that. People should have try to have these little devices. They can help you. Throw that in the bug out kit.
Yes. Let's see. Also, if you're daily driving in your highway speeds, especially in inclement weather, but just in general as well, leave extra space between cars. And this primarily goes especially for semi-truck drivers and in any large vehicles. Hate to tell you this, folks, they don't stop as well as you. They don't.
Right.
They're not designed to do that.
Right.
They're designed to stop, but
don't cut them off either.
That's a recipe for disaster. You can't.
Yeah.
expect to like cut in front of a semi truck who's already maybe primarily he's starting to brake right now, and you cut in front of him, and you just come to a complete stop, well short of what he can't do.
Right.
And you guess what? You're going to have about 18 tons of steel compressing you against whatever vehicles might be in front of you. You're going to be in a little accordion, and you're going, oh, I don't know why this happened. Like, you were an idiot. That the only time that a semi truck actually let me cut, like, I always give them like a couple. I always like use markers when I passing them. I try to give them at least a couple, like maybe 3 to 4 car lengths ahead before I even just get into their lane in front of them, because that's a lot of steel behind me. I am not cutting it off. And if I cut into that lane and there's some road hazard that will cause my car to be slightly out of whack for a moment, that could potentially cause me to slam on the brakes, and that could cause him to slam on his brakes. And his vehicle is much bigger than mine.
Yeah, he's not stopping before he plows through you.
Yeah, I'd say I've driven, like I said, I drove a garbage truck, and that thing, it's 18 tons empty.
Yeah.
So they say, they want you to have about a 4 to 5 second gap in front of the next vehicle. So, use a mark. If you're driving a big vehicle, you leave count 4 seconds. If I'm in front of a semi, I'll pass the street light or something. But in North Carolina, street lights are apparently illegal on their freeways, so they don't have them.
And if you can, don't ride next to the damn thing either.
Especially
even
in the rain.
But even just sitting next to, alongside the rear axle set, and they have some blowout, that recap can take your car out and throw you into the fucking barrier. Mm-hmm. My thing is, this is just me, but like even on a 2-lane road and there's nowhere else to go, right?
Yeah.
I don't pass the truck or get behind the plane of his rear of his vehicle until the vehicle that I'm following is up by his cab, because he still can't move over because there's a vehicle right there at his cab. So he sees him. At that point, I'm on the throttle and up to that guy so that we can pass this truck together, because I don't want to sit in that spot next to him in case he panic reacts, moves, anything. I don't like tractor trailers, man. Don't like being around them. Mm-mm. And I think that all came from motorcycles, because you get sucked under them. I saw too many of those Faces of Death movies.
Ooh.
And I know guys who fucking seen that shit and stories, and I've been to MVAs with bikes and stuff. Terrible.
Yeah, no, people keep forgetting when they talk about motorcycles. It's not if you get into an accident or something like that. It's when you get into an accident. It's like you'll either drop the bike or you'll get hit. It's one of the two is going to happen to you one time or another. And then, it might not even be your fault. I mean, you might be doing everything right, and just some random act just caused the unfortunate event, something that happened.
The stat here in the book said that motorcycle riders that are new riders in the first 6 months of getting their license, it's 95% rider error. After the first 6 months of riding, it's only 5% rider error. That it becomes 95% other people fucking up and hitting the bikes, because they know what they know what they do. They know what they're doing at that point. They know how to ride the machine, but the other people are dangerous. I was like, holy shit, that's terrifying. Terrifying.
All right. Well, right now I actually have a question from a buddy here. I remember meeting back in Washington. But he says, is there anything you can do to increase the life of your tires?
Yes. Proper air pressure. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's probably one.
Balancing.
Rotating. And wheel alignments.
Wheel alignments get overlooked big time.
Oh, dude,
yeah. I do wheel alignment on my vehicle every year. Regardless.
So I should have done that, because I don't know if it was the roads of North Carolina or what, but right now my car is currently at the shop. It had to get new axles. I I know I could have probably done this stuff with it if I watched enough videos and read a couple manuals and everything like that. But this is also not only like, it's my daily and / project car all in one. But I want it to, I want it to be a good daily, a fun car to have. But it needs new CV axles. That's getting done. License plate thing, that's getting done.
But you know what? You kind of bring up a very important thing that people have to balance: doing the job yourself versus farming it out. The cost, the aggravation, the time, the effort, the potential for fuck ups because age of vehicle, corrosion, so yeah, you have to balance that out. You're right. No, that was a good call. Let them do the axles. Let them because I mean, the hub, they get frozen in the hubs, and it's just one stupid thing after another, and you're on the ground. You don't need that aggravation. And really, how much really was it more than you doing it? Was it a lot? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was because the axles they were about for both were like $200, and the shop that I took my car to, they are not, they can't warranty it because they didn't order the parts themselves.
Right. How much? How? What do they charge you for labor?
Oh, it's about $350 to get the axles installed. It really sucks to me because.
Well, 2 axles, an alignment, right?
No, just the axles, just new axles installed in my car.
Okay.
But basically, since if something happens to my car after the fact, I can't, sue them for any of this because it's not warranty. I'm like, I completely understand. That's why I double checked with my buddy who did the motor swap and everything for my car. What axles do I need to order specifically for my car currently because of aftermarket transmission and motor that are in it currently. There's that. Then I have to get brakes, new brakes and rotor, new pads, rotors, because they're causing massive vibration. So it's like, and then there's like my cooling fan on my car. It needs a new cooling fan. So hopefully, I'm assuming this is probably about $1,000 job. Like I said, my tires on it, they went to shit. So I need 2 new tires because, like I said, cords showing through on the my old ones. I'm like, fuck. And it's like I had an alignment a while back.
Quick.
Oh yeah, I'm already like mentally picturing it's about at least $1,000 that I'm going to be not having in my possession anymore. But my car will be able to idle in the summertime and not overheat because the cooling fan's actually working this time.
Right. Who knew that'd be so critical?
Yeah, I know, right? But hey, on the bright side, it's a bigger radiator than stock, which is probably my saving grace that carried me from Washington State to North Carolina in that car.
Nice.
Let's see. I wonder if anyone else has any quick little car-related questions.
Blowbusters says he likes to go warp 13 on the highway.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he's got a freaking Harley, man. I would do the same.
Yeah, I totally wanted to ride his V-Rod so bad. Ugh, I'm sorry I said that. I want to ride his Harley.
Yeah, only the Harley guys who know about Harleys would know this joke. But that's the model, the make.
Yeah,
I know. The Harley.
I know. Yeah, that's a badass machine. You ever watch the documentary on them making it? They put so much into everything. I mean, every curve on that machine, the exhaust, so much stuff. It's a cool machine. Definitely.
Yeah,
cool.
It definitely is. It's a piece of art. Yes, for sure. I will not lie. But that's about all I can think of. But
damn, he said something. He said
it was my V-Rod. There we go.
Yeah.
See?
Well, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. But basically, kind of like in conclusion here, it's like don't know what could happen in the coming years. Best to be prepared. Also, best to know your vehicle. Try and at least know the basics of it. Maybe pick up a Haynes magazine or the Hayes magazines for your specific car or year of car.
Or Chilton's. Chilton's also makes one.
Yeah, Chilton. Yes.
You can get it on Amazon. You can definitely get it on Amazon.
Exactly. Maybe you have spare parts to at least some of the things that you'll be changing more frequently than others, like oil filters, having extra oil on hand their fluids, whatnot.
Yeah, any of the things that you do for maintenance wise yourself, sure.
It'll say it's like not only you'll be more in tune with your vehicle, but it'll save you some money. Driving tips, don't be well. We make it simple.
Also check, because honestly, some makes and models, depending on what they are, I looked, I only saved $20 if I do the oil change myself.
Yeah,
so I let
noticed
the dealer do it.
The different. I know I do oil changes myself as well, but I really noticed them. Like I put synthetic into my cars, and it's even the difference between that and
Same
a
here.
oil job. I'm like, this is stupid. But I completely forgot to mention this point, along with the fact that like Europe is trying to get rid of internal combustion engines. Another video I would watch from a different channel, we're basically seeing the progression, if you want to call it progression, of the automotive world and what it's going to be leading to. More vehicles becoming electric or hybrids or something like that. Just get us off the dino juice, if you want to believe that fairy tale. But the blood of the earth. We'll just go that way. But they're making it's basically the transition is going from modes of transportation to mobility. So basically, and these cars are now running like autonomous programs. So you're just the idiot in a drone, essentially a 4-wheel drone going from one point A to point B.
So is that what I'm just curious. I'm trying to pose a question. I may not say it right, but the biggest issue or threat, so to speak, from getting away from internal combustion engine powered vehicles, personal conveyances, things like that, is the lack of privacy and the fact that they may be able to control it and drive it and do things with it.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I made me think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say is what I'm thinking, and the reason I'm thinking this is because we haven't really changed our technology as a society anyway. We've always used fire for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is it really bad? I mean, obviously, we know in the history of fucking forever, nothing has ever been put out that has been used for good. It's always been manipulated so that somebody can do something with it and we get screwed. I know that. But I was just wondering, just had that thought about, would it be bad to have electric vehicles if they could have a battery that doesn't rot in the ground and kill every fucking tree around it, and things like that? Use sunlight, because we have sunlight every day.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the powers that shouldn't be possess all the technology to.
Right.
They just drip feed us every so often, every few years. Like, oh, we have a new advancement. We've had it for a long time. We just thought you fuckers want.
And I wonder if it's even useless to even think about it, I guess, really, even with having that, because if electricity and power and energy can be generated freely from the ether and sent to any other location through the ether, then I guess we really don't need a power source or anything. It could just be that. Interesting. I just wonder what would our world be if it wasn't nefarious people in charge, or
oh man, beautiful,
right?
Having my usual typical mental brain farts as always, so I can't think of the word at the right time, but it'd be euphoric, essentially. Just, imagine no crazy government, no people in political power instructing us on how to live our lives, and no crazy authoritarian men in suits. Black suits used to be blue suits, but the black is more intimidating, so they're basically military on the streets nowadays, and that are being referred to the police. People won't be so skeptical and timid of others like that. I mean, all they do is just they enforce the laws that those people who wrote it on us, and then they impose on us, the little slaves, and that's not right. So I'm like, wow, if we got rid of them, we had all the amazing technology, and we could actually, we really could understand and harness, the amazingness of this flat realm we live on, and the power of the ether, and how the sun and the moon work in tandem, and how everything just uniformly just works together like a wonderful, beautiful battery pack in Sky Clock. Like we're a top of the line, Swiss watch right now here.
Right.
But people don't understand, like, we could run entirely freely, but there's no money in that.
No. And money is definitely just a control mechanism. I mean, really.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't, I don't know. It's interesting how we all got sucked into that.
Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Yeah. I really think that I mean, for me anyway, I got to get out of this place. I need to get near other like-minded people. It's too isolating,
I know, right?
Yeah. I gotta go.
I mean, there's some great people in Washington that I do miss, like my boy here, like Willie Evans there. I got to meet him at one of Dottie's Flat Earth meetups that we had back in, I think it was either December of 2018 or January of 2019. It was like early. I think it was December of 2018. But we had like 30 people crammed into a little room at this little hotel. So I'm like, sweet. And it was really close to home too, so it was great. But yeah, there's I miss those people out there, but this is where I wanted to be. This is where I need to be. And I'll continue on life here.
Right.
It's great. Because I finally got to meet you, meet Brian. Brian's a freaking roommate when he's not in California. It's great. So
yeah, you live in a great part of the country right now for sure. I mean, from you down, it's pretty decent, I guess, comparatively speaking.
Hell, and the fact that I actually really like this area is like I'm starting to build rapport with different individuals in different businesses. Like the mechanic who's working on my car, he loves my car. He was actually considering buying my car. He's like, man, I used to have one of those Civics, like hatchbacks back in the day. They did all shit. He used to drag race in them, and he told me about this road around here in North Carolina that I need to take my car to, which I will do so once it is
nice.
Some crazy twisty windy road.
I'll run you with the Tahoe. I'll run you down that road.
There you go. It's great. But yeah, I said when I called and spoke to him earlier today, asking about like what's going on with the car. I haven't had it since Friday, so I'm kind of getting antsy and going through withdrawals.
Sure.
But he said, yeah, the car brought him back 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's nice. It brings me back 10 years. Like, I like this place. This is cool. But other than that, I think we have gone through basically all I can really think of in all these fun little potential scenarios. We've covered a shit ton of potential hazards, and at least you brought up all your EMT training, and make sure you have like a med pack and med pack for all these things.
First aid kit, trauma kit if you can. I mean, hell, you can get O2. You can buy all that stuff online, buy the whole kit, and there's local places you can buy. I'm forgetting the grade, the quality of O2 it's required, but you can buy O2. You can have everything.
Those than that, wear a mask.
I mean, like I said, and I'm not telling you what to do, but end of the world, if you got no other fucking choice.
Beggars ain't choosers. You got to give
it a shot. Give it a shot, and you can look online what the protocols are for O2 and the rates, because like depending on the device that you put on someone, you vary the flow, you know, of how hard they're getting it in their face,
Mm-hmm.
you know, things like that. But like I said, everything comes down to the breathing. It really does. It really, really does. You know,
Yeah.
unless you have, you know, an actual heart attack and your heart goes and stops.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's usually comes to breathing first, and that complicates everything, and then your heart gives up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Alrighty. Well, I hope that some people learned something new things and got to have a little more of a lighthearted topics instead of the usual doom and gloom. But you know, if we're going to be doom and gloom, might as well have some fun with it and prepare. You know, see what you have and kind of get a game plan going. Because you know, shit. If shit hit the fan right now, honestly, I don't really have a plan. I think I'd probably try to hunker down here. This is a good location where I'm at, and you know, we'd be able to support others if the shit happened too,
Right.
which is good.
Right. Well, it's ironic, but you should have a plan to back up your plan to back up your plan.
Oh yeah,
And,
I want to have a plan A through Z for a plan A
and
through
it's
Z.
funny, I did not, because I didn't think about it, and it's like that whole Mike Tyson thing. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, and I realized like I don't have really. I mean, I have my brother who he's not vaxxed. I don't know what's going to happen. He's a lieutenant colonel in the military. He's a cop. I don't know where he's going with it. You know, he doesn't want to. He doesn't like it. His wife doesn't like the idea of it. His son, my nephew, did it. I was like, why did you do it? He goes, well, I just thought we were supposed to. And I'm like, just so disgusted.
Were they putting a gun to your head? No.
And I said, you knew how I feel about this stuff and what I've told the girls. And he goes, yeah, I know. And I think it wasn't really so much him as he just, because he got engaged and his girl, and I'm not saying she's a bad person. She's not evil and nothing, but I think she's totally full in on this, you know, believing, you know, and convinced them. My nieces are like, fuck that, I'm not taking that shit. So, and I believe them. They're not, the three of them are very much the type of people that are, well, this is who I am, you don't like it too fucking bad. I got friends, you know, it's cool. The three of them are like that. Like, they're all so different, but they're cool and they get along, which is weird because two of them are sisters and the other one is their cousin. They, you know, my sister's kids live with my brother and his daughter. So the three of them, and they're not doing it. They listen. They're, at least from what I can tell, you know, I don't know. I keep trying to talk to them and tell them it sucks. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Tangent.
All good. That's the thing. I'll probably just close it out for everybody. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks Zulu for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Let's about what are we at? 3 months and what did I see? 3 months, like 13 days till Flattoberfest.
Oh, to see you?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, 3 months and some odd days. I know I have it on the app there.
It's 100 days, 11 hours, 44 minutes.
Beautiful.
Literally 100 days from today.
Hell yeah.
Flattoberfest 2021. I have it on my phone. I literally have a counter. Like I roll my home screen to the right and there it is, Flattoberfest. Boom.
Awesome.
100 days. That is freaking fantastic.
God, I know.
I really hope as many of you people can make it as possible. You're really, you will not be disappointed. Not the least bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how does anyone want to be missing this shits here? We see the Magnolia Grand. I'm sharing the. But I'm gonna do my bit of whoring it out for Karen here because she's not streaming right now. So I'll do my part. Location, in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Is it whoring out if you want to? Because
I
talk about it all the time.
For money, so I guess I'm sledding myself out.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Because I like talking about it like all the time. I'm like,
me too. At work, people at work. I mean, if they're halfway open to shit, I'm like, hey, if you have the time, go check this out. Go here. We have grounded extracts.
I want to meet them so bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Mark. We got. We're gonna have Cammy and Zach doing How the World Works again. That never gets old. I've seen that several times. I love it. Got Watson Atkinson. He already did the tattoos on Karen's hand, and if you see my hand, my arm, my left arm is slowly becoming a piece of Watson's artistic abilities.
Nice. Did you see the video he put up?
I have not, but I did see. I could get notification.
You got the link. Yeah.
Yes.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Yes. We have Mike Williams, Sage Quay. He's going to be there. He's going to do a bit on presentation on hypnosis and how it works. That'll be pretty cool and interesting. We got Bob, who's in chat right now, I think, still. Mm-hmm. But he'll be doing his presentation. I honestly have no idea if he's really doing it on yet, but it's Bob. It's going to be good. And I know Karen's work.
I love listening to Bob. It's so funny to me that when I listen to him talk, it's like I don't even realize, oh wow, he just gave me an entire science lesson on physics, and now I understand this. And it's like that part didn't click. It's just that it's so and like I put up, I copied, I did a clip of the Sagnac experiment when him and the Glowbusters, when they went over it, because I've heard that presentation that Mr. Bowden did multiple times, sort of got it, sort of understood it. They did it and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's that. I can't believe I didn't get it the whole time. And I just, I love our community, our friends, our worlds.
Oh yeah. And then we have, Marty Leeds, who, finally moved back to the mainland. And he'll be presenting. I don't know if I know what he's presenting on. It has nothing up on here, but stay in touch. Karen will have all the updates going because she's constantly working on this. We have ODD performing again. Yeah,
I was gonna say don't forget about that Hollywood basement, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's awesome.
And we got
I love
Jason Lindgren of Secrets of Saturn and Crow 777 Radio. He's gonna be there presenting and doing music, so he's gonna be doing dual duty there. So that'll be awesome as hell, as always. And let's see. Oh yeah, Flat Earth Intel. He was at Solar Return during his presentation. He had all the military paperwork and research showing trajectories and geometry, everything like that to, again, show that Earth is not a spinning space ball in a vacuum, defying physics, and came from nothing. But he'll have an exhibit set up. I can't wait. I don't know if he's presenting or if it's going to be an exhibit, but either way, who knows. But we should also be getting, I believe, hopefully we're getting OBL. We'll contact Karen or something like that for them to play because those guys freaking rock. And they're local.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to. I've seen them 3 times. I want to see them again. They effing rock.
Dude, I know it's kind of douchey, but it's like I wish I could live at their house and just like be around when they're playing. Like seriously,
Right?
dude, my workout list has 4 of their songs. Every day I listen to them, and Cherry Berry is like, I'm sorry, that's probably my favorite song, just because I listen to it and I get so into working out with it. I just and Karen, you know, and I just fucking love them, man. They're awesome. They're awesome. Such a good vibe, and they're just a cool. And I mean, just besides the music, all of them, their whole family, everyone, they're just such awesome people.
Yes.
You know, and again, our community, our family. Yeah, and it's weird because I always say that like I feel like family more than friends, because I guess we all think alike. I mean, we all want to know the truth. You know, I mean, we got some outliers, you know, a little out there, but
no, for the most part, we're pretty cool with one another.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess.
Yeah, I'll shut up, man. I know you're saying goodbye.
Good. I know. I'm trying to get us off the air here, but right now I want to try and see if let's make sure that people can hear what I'm about to play. I'm actually going to play OBL's latest song here called "Science of Compliance."
Yes.
So, in case you guys have never seen these guys perform, or you're kind of wondering who the hell these guys are, that talking about how freaking awesome and amazing they are. Their name's Jocelyn and Joshua Oshida of.
Yeah.
They're like North Carolina. They have
North
Kakalaki. Yes.
They're just two of the coolest dudes.
They're great guys, and they're just awesome energy. So let's see if you guys can hear this. I mean, I can see it. Oh, excuse Zulu first if you can actually hear it.
All right. Are we saying goodbye?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Can you hear it?
Camera? Yep, we're on.
Yes.
All right. Sweet.
All right. Love you.
Hey, who been warning y'all before you knew you needed warning? Hey, hey, who been trying to tell you about the system you were born in? Hey, how's a miscommunication? We don't even communicate. It's easily to see you faking when you overcompensate. Not your whole life, just the things that perpetuate where your heart is and how your brain even formulate what you drinking from and all the bait that you ate. Race wars, viruses, the way you pick your candidates. I question is science and why your kids medicate. Good exercise and diet. You better go and educate. They putting bricks in the city, but they ain't getting no work done. Take it from me, all I do is construction. This is well played, boy. All this destruction. I don't mean from the ones with earthly corruption. Yeah, I smoke a little bit, maybe to function, but I need a whole lot to keep me from punching. No lights out, cause I can't believe the gumption. One day a white power, next day a fist bumping. One day you're rocking out, next day your Bible thumping. Can't wait for the next trend, bridge jumping. OBL be thumping, never front. Ay, down south chicken dumplings. Only thing crumbling is Babylon and good weed. You better jump in, ain't no gas pumping. When it comes to spacecrafts, all we do is hovering. And you know we never bugging, and you know we still hugging. So if your mandate, and your mandate, if his name is Millennia or Bill Gates, put another pie in your face. Hey, Cat-O show up, always set the pace. Don't care about first and last place. Hey, hey, who been warning y'all before you knew you needed warning? OBL, OBL. Who been trying to tell you about the system you were born in? OBL, OBL. Earth is not your home, you only visit here, you're foreign. OBL, OBL. Who's the burden Babylon in 2021? OBL, OBL. Get 'em.
Like a predicate, y'all shit irrelevant. Y'all believe narratives with no real evidence. I rock the mic with no real hesitance. Don't give authority to donkeys and elephants. Don't want autographs from rock star candidates. Killing in our name like we demanded it. Stop the violence, BLM riot. Y'all got compliance down to a science. The need for more state replaces self-reliance. A helpless generation begs a desperate tyrants. All the dissenting voices of the beast get silenced. Reset, blockchain, finance. Climate change halts saw Bitcoin mining. All the world's a stage, not perfect timing. One time for your mind, I'm rhyming. 16 bars, 16 bars. My rhymes are brute strength, they be lifting cars. OBL moving weight like a shifting barge. People overcharged, we be gifting ours. We get paid enough, so we be lifting large. Yo, taking the script and flipping the swing, not nothing. Some of them mention this, and they're working to mention and flipping this, and they're dropping the sentence. They're working to mention energy, bitch, if we give it attention. And the people living on negative energy becomes a religion. So 16 bars, 16 bars. I rhyme straight gas, come sniff these jars. People overcharged, we be gifting ours. We get paid enough, so we be lifting large. OBL stay afloat like a shipping barge. Giving thanks and praises how we get recharged. Who been warning y'all before you knew you needed warning? OBL, OBL. Who been trying to tell you about the system you were born in? OBL, OBL. Earth is not your home, you only visit here, you're foreign. OBL, OBL. Who's the bird of Babylon in 2021?
OBL.